Good. Vinny, I think we're live. I forgot to bring the mic
All
over.
right, all right.
Welcome back, Alchemist. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter Amarelo, and the great Vinney Chopra. Today we're talking about one of the wealth principles. This is Wealth Principle 34, a commonly misunderstood principle. So most people
Mhm.
understand that life's going to be challenging, business is going to be challenging. If you want more than other people have, you got to get outside your comfort zone. I think that's all nice, commonly said. Today's wealth principle is accept what can't be changed and create an advantage. So somebody who came to this country with $7 in their pocket went and raised $220 million, purchased $1.3 billion of real estate, knows something about challenges, knows something about creating advantages. He's an immigrant, right? He's not the same color as everybody, speaks a different language as everybody, but he found a way to turn that into an advantage. So today we're going to dive into no matter what your challenges are in business, we've got somebody who knows how to solve them. Vinny, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I'm a little bit more dressed up. I've got back-to-back meetings with investors and, raising money for my hotel, that we are purchasing. And it's just amazing. Oh my gosh. And it's a 506C, so I can talk about it. Almost 30% return per year. What? 28 to 30%. And we are toning it down because if we put the real price, it might sell at, it goes to 47% per year. So it's just mind blowing what we bought from the lender owned hotel. But I have a lot of meetings. That's why I got my exercise
I
done,
noticed you were
miracle
dressed
morning.
just very early in the morning. This is 9 o'clock PST, which normally this is about the time you're hitting the gym or you walk or you're on your
Yeah,
treadmill or you're doing
yeah,
yoga. So
yeah.
pretty early for you to be dressed up. But I know you got a webinar that comes right after this. What is today's webinar?
Oh, today's webinar is on again senior living and hotels, and I'll be because it's a 506C. I can advertise, I can talk about it. So 67 people have registered accredited investors. So I'll be kind of sharing with them where we are buying, what we are doing, what's business plan, why we feel this is a good opportunity to invest. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Pacific today. Just go to Eventbrite, Vinney Chopra, or go to vinneychopra.com/events. It
That's the
takes
one
you
I
there.
like to send people to. It's like go to vinneychopra.com/events. Very simple,
Yeah.
very easy. So before we dive into today's principle,
Yes.
last night I was on the mastermind. So for anybody who doesn't know, right now
Oh,
Vinny's running a promotion where if you're listening to this podcast, you can actually go to his Wednesday mastermind that he runs, the multifamily syndication mastermind. I've been a part of it for a long time, and he's doing it for 4 sessions for free. So if you
yeah.
saw the post I made on Alchemist Nation's Facebook group, that post
Mhm.
is legit. Last night was the first time. We had, I think, 6 or 7 of our members actually showed up for free,
Yes,
and
yes,
we were
yes.
evaluating deals. People were presenting how their cap stack works. People were talking about operations, lots of different types of projects, RALs, hotels, multifamily. It was really just a very valuable mastermind. So not to
Ah,
push it or say, hey, you
thank
should
you.
be multifamily, you should be syndication, you should be hotels, you should be residential assisted living, but you should do something. I don't want to should on you, but maybe go check it out.
Totally. Totally. And one thing which I just emphasized a little bit more last night was power of investors, power of circle of influence, power of really meeting with the family, friends, people you know. If you're going to scale up in life, you got to be able to use pooling of money. It's called syndication. It's a bad word. A lot of people hate the word syndication and they just say it's like a gorilla, right? And that's what you and I are doing, brother. And I was able to raise over 220 million. I'm going to raise more now because I've returned the money back to them. So that's the power I talked a lot about last night. And towards the end, Ankur shared the presentation packet that he put. He took my packet and then designed his, which was very attractive. And that's the key to really get into harnessing the power of other people's money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really interesting listening to Encore last night. He was confirming that people don't just lend their money. People don't just invest their money. It
No.
takes time to get to know a person. It takes trust to build rapport,
Mhm.
and it
Yeah.
sometimes can take years, it can take months. Very
Yeah.
rarely do you sit down with a person and said, "Yep, I'm ready to write the check today." It takes time for people to evaluate, bring it to
It
the
takes
attorneys,
time.
financial advisors,
Totally.
realtors to sell assets.
Yes,
It's time consuming. So
it
let's
is. It
that's
totally
actually a very good
is.
place for us to start with today's principle. So you sent me three, four, five, six, seven different factors and different strategies. So number one, you said is life is 10% what happens, 90% how you react.
George Swindle just came to my mind right there, Charles. That's what he talks about. A lot of times when things happen to us, bad, good, ugly, whatever, it's how we take it mentally. It's just 10% the action or the reaction part, but 90% is controlled by us. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If we do not take that into the ratio, then we are looking for others outside, 90% outside. Why it happened to me? Why did somebody do this and that? And why did I not think through all this? We start blaming everybody around us but us.
Yeah.
So this is so important that, it's all mental shift you got to look at.
And I
Yeah.
can even see it in the deal I'm doing now, right? Like I can look back and I think blaming other people is the biggest problem most people have. And then we have blaming ourselves because I can look back and say, oh man, I should have started this sooner. Or I should have called this bank earlier. I should have given them that documentation properly from the first place. Now I had to go back and redo things.
Yeah.
And it's delay, delay,
Yeah.
delay, delay. So you could beat yourself up too. That reaction doesn't help. Like this more I sit there saying, oh,
No.
I coulda, shoulda, woulda, nothing
Yeah.
gets done. Dorina stopped me today and said, well, what can we do? And I was like, oh,
I love it.
shifted my brain
That's
into a
it.
useful direction. So how
So true.
sometimes how we
So
react
true.
or having people around us who can react better to the same stimulus, same information coming in. How can we do this? And
Yes.
today's principles, how do we turn it into an advantage? And that's what I'm
Yes.
creating the narrative this morning was like, hey, you know what? This didn't go through. Creates a great opportunity. This lender over here is actually more affordable. There's actually 8% interest rate to 7% interest rate. That's why it happened. Now things make more sense. So the second one you put
Sure.
in is turn setbacks into setups. How it's just how
Oh,
ironic that this is the principle
you
today as we're
just
getting close to a closing.
it's so true. You see, the setbacks can really be learning experiences for us, right? And then that's why I say setups, because let's learn from the mistakes and let's not try to repeat it. Our human nature is that we forget. We don't really write it down, and we don't really, say that what was the last situation? I made a decision myself not to do it and repeat it. Insanity is if we just keep on repeating the same blunders like over and over and over again, and then say, why me, poor me, all that, right? So we should learn. Yeah, we should learn from setbacks.
I sat yesterday morning with some of my staff out in Cleveland, the private consulting firm that manages it for me. And I sat down with them
Yeah.
and I was like, guys, just tell me the worst stuff. I don't want to hear about how good we're doing. I want to hear the worst stuff that's happening in the
Hmm.
portfolio. And at the end
Hmm.
of 20 minutes of the worst stuff, I found I was gripping my chair like white knuckle, like, whoa, it's so bad. And then I said, what is the plan to make this better? The
To get
simplest
out.
sentence. What is the plan to make this better?
Yes.
And they had answers.
Yes.
They had the answers. And they reframed so many things. Said these setbacks were actually they didn't say setups. I wish they said it that way, but they were like, this is
Hmm.
actually putting
Hmm.
us into a good position to go and do this, this, this. We had to do
This,
this.
this,
Big
this.
vacancies. I was like, why aren't we climbing the occupancy? Why is the occupancy going up?
Hmm.
Well, we had to get rid of 20 deadbeats. Well, you got rid of 20 deadbeats.
Look
That's
at that.
that
Yeah.
okay. That's a
The
positive.
good
Now
thing
we
is they're gone. Yeah, they
and
are
then we filled
gone.
their
And
units. Their units were
yeah.
easier to fill. Oh, okay. So it's actually giving us a better quality tenant. We're
Excellent.
returning faster units. So
Beautiful.
I think today's principle is maybe not for everybody else. Maybe I'm the only one who has setbacks. Maybe I'm the only one who's operating.
Everybody does, brother. I myself included. Some days there are so many setbacks, literally, because life is not a straight line. I always say that.
Not always up
Our
and to the right.
moods, no, and our moods, our thoughts, our everything, they go in every which way, literally. The beauty is to calm the nerves down. That's why I say miracle morning in the morning is so important to calm the nerves down, to make sure we are really positioning ourselves for a really good day. It's all mental. lot of things are mental, you know. I
It's
think
so
there are
true.
other points I shared that
Yeah,
we
I see
could,
him. I see him. Now I'm looking at the notes.
hacks. Yeah.
So number three, you said accept, adapt, advance. Your three A's. So acceptance
Wow.
frees your mind to find solutions. This is how you calm down. You just say, you know what, this is what it is. Then you're able to move forward. Resistance drains, these are your notes. Resistance drains energy.
Oh,
Acceptance unlocks
totally.
creativity.
Totally,
Wow.
totally. This is beautiful, beautiful. Because if we don't accept it and we say, why this, that, it shouldn't have happened, we go other way around, it just drains our power, which we could use to solve it, to find solutions, you
I could
know?
see that in time this one. I'm using the same example because it really fits today. I could see it in the amount of time I spent sitting down saying, man, I could have done this, could have done this. I was sitting down wasting time essentially. But maybe I can
Yeah.
predict, say in the future it's going to make me do things better. But in that moment, all of that time, I said, this didn't get anything done. This didn't get me sending the documents to the new lender. This didn't get me anything done.
Hmm.
The idea of resistance drains energy. There's a phrase I heard in the personal development world call, as they say, what you resist persists. Have you seen that to
That's true.
be okay?
So true, so true. The more we delve on it, the more we go back into the negatives, the resistance, the more time we put, guess what? Subconscious does not know good from the bad. Remember that. Only the conscious mind knows good from the bad. Subconscious doesn't. But subconscious takes picture and it's got a movie camera inside, a big chip, bigger than NVIDIA chips, and it just records everything. And guess what? Our mentality, human mentality is to go to the negative first, positive later. And we have to put a lot of effort to remember the positives. In my life, I forget negatives. My wife reminds me. I say, what? It really happened? I have no recollection of it, literally. So I just remember positives. That's what, we could all train our brain like that. We really can. That's why I wrote that book, Positivity Brings Profitability. The thing is, it's up to us to be more positive. Nobody is going to make us more. Well, maybe the circle of friends. Positive people will bring you up. Negative people will bring you down. Yeah, I
I
love
can already feel the energy on this podcast, and I've seen it many times in the
that.
comments. People say, "Man, like this inspired me. This got me moving." If you're feeling inspired about Vinny throughout this conversation, drop it in the chat as we're going through. Just drop it in the comments because these are very
Thank you.
inspirational for other people to stop and say, "Okay, like at 5 minutes in, Vinny said something." Live streams on YouTube and live streams on Facebook actually allow a person to skip ahead based on your comments. So be commenting actively as you're watching this, and it actually allows other people to have those inspiring moments if that's what they're looking
Yeah.
for. Number four, you put up build resilience muscles daily. Now, I go to the gym every day.
Oh,
I know you walk every day. I know you're working out, you do your yoga. When you say
oh, I'm doing
mental
weights and
resilience,
oh,
how do you
that is
build
so
mental
important.
resilience?
Well, it all comes down to concerted effort in making sure that whenever setbacks come, we take time to say, I'm going to handle it a little better. Last time I went into it for half an hour, griping and weeping and whatever, whatever, whatever. This time I'm going to do only 15 minutes. So you give your timeline, or then you do so the muscle, your thinking muscle. But that's what I mean by that. Is that it's going to get better and better and better. And once you are able to train that muscle to react positively than negatively, there is silver lining to every cloud, right? We heard so many phrases. The key thing is being negative, being resistive, being everything drains us. So the knowledge and the intelligence says, let's accept it, find the solution. Start from today. I mean, this point, I something came negative. You say within 5 seconds or 10 seconds, I'm going to look for the positive in this negative situation. Anyway, so the muscles are built that way. And that's when you become very strong, tough, and you
I
just don't
think
let things bother you.
I think everybody should have
Huh?
children. So this morning, my son, he pooped. He just made a nice, toasty poop, but it wasn't in a diaper because he was walking around air bathing. So it was in the
Yeah.
hallway, and then it was further down the hallway, and then it was in the sink. And for a moment, Darina didn't have her composure. For a moment, she snapped. She's like, "Whoa, this is way more than I was expecting this morning." And she had to jump to a meeting. I had to jump to a meeting. So we both kind of calmed
Yeah.
down and were like, you know what? This kid's just got to get his situation handled. I think the little things in life actually give resistance. Those little problems, if you could say, hey, look at how well I handled that this morning. Look, boom, like that's creates a story of success in difficult times. If we'd resisted it, maybe the poop would still be in the hallway. But we did it. We split up. I cleaned him. She cleaned the hallway. Things are better. This happens in business all the time, right? If we could build up those muscles in
So true.
negotiations, right? Because Vinny, how many people say
Totally.
no to you? You must get a no all the time when it comes
Oh
to
my
offers,
gosh,
and
so many, so many, so
because
many
you
people,
put in
brother.
offers with
And
30% ROIs on them, like you put in some really good
to
offers.
find to find some good offers, it just, you got to be thinking what's going to happen. What's going to happen in life is it's all about how many offers you get, how many no's. It's like last night
That's
I
funny you were
mentioned,
saying that.
if you get like, 50 no's to get 5 yeses, let's say 1 out of 10, then you give the value to every yes and a no same value. So then you're not up and down, up and down, up and down. You're learning every no is getting closer to the yes. It's like the picket fence theory, I call it too. Like, in the picket fence, if you knock off 9 pickets and the 10th one has to be law of averages work in sales, in everything, that is going to be yes. So that's the success is around the corner. I always say that, right? And lots of motivational speakers talk about it. The key thing is you got to keep yourself doing the things you are doing, and the rejection and the no shouldn't bother you, which
I
is
gotta ask
hard.
because I gotta
It's
bring this
hard.
back
It's
to
hard.
it is hard. It is hard because
It is
number
hard.
5 is find the seed of advantage. I know a lot of
Mhm.
investors who are passive investors who've lost a lot of money over the last decade, or last 5 years. I'd
Sure.
even say, well,
Yeah.
about 3 years ago, I felt like a lot of people I knew had actually lost money. There was a lot of syndicators who were
Mhm.
not bringing the IRR just wasn't working out. They weren't able to sell the cap
Correct.
raise. They were
Correct.
coming back with
Yep.
capital
Yep.
calls, and that's why you built your fund to actually save a lot of those syndicates. You turned a
Hmm.
problem in the market into an advantage. You turned into something that you could actually help
Sure.
people with. So, what would you say to an investor who has like $4 or $5 million? They lent out or they invested 500,000 2 or 3 years ago and it got lost, wiped out. Forex trading, Bitcoin, like all the silly things that people were investing in 3 years ago, lost money. Now they're like, I can't invest anything. What do you say to that person? Like, how do you
Well,
plant the seed of
it's very
advantage?
hard. It's very hard. I don't really share, but I've lost a lot in stock market. I made a lot, but lost a lot. But the thing is, you got to accept it. Your life will go haywire if you don't accept it. Whatever is lost, let's put things in action so that you can recover a portion of it. Not the same way how you lost it, but you got to then be more privy, more due diligence, more looking into things, more asking questions. The biggest thing is why investors lose money, or myself, like the thing is, I just get my eyes off the ball. That's what happened. And the market just dropped, 10%, 20% that day alone. And I had big positions. So, anyway, the key thing is real estate, stock market, Forex. Look at, I mean, Bitcoin right now is 109,000 from 70 to 109. Now, the key thing is to understand the investment you're going to make. If you don't understand, keep it cash.
Yeah,
Keep it cash, put it into securities and this or I bonds and all that. There are a lot of places where
put
you
in a money
just get
market account,
4%. Yeah, money
3.5%. Right?
market. 3 point, yeah, exactly. I mean, so try to just save your dollars and find the best opportunity. Just like you know, syndicators like me and fund managers, you and I, we look at so many deals. Then we bring one or two to the surface because that is what will get us to the next level. And investors' money, we have fiduciary responsibility to not make decisions, hasty decisions, and bring wrong investments, you know.
Vinny,
So
I got to
that's
jump on that real quick because I know I get a lot of people bringing me deals every day. A lot of people every day. Hey, will you
yeah,
invest in this? Will you
yeah,
invest? Will your fund invest in? And I
yeah,
say no to
yep,
like right now I have the deals I need for the year. So I say no to literally every
yeah.
single message that comes in. You must get way more than me than that department. Like I know
Oh
everybody's
my
coming to you
gosh,
saying, "Hey, Vinny,
people
hey, Vinny,
telling
hey,
me
Vinny."
about hotels and senior livings. Oh my gosh, I get so many messages. I've got the best deal for you, Vinny. I've got this, that. I have cut down now. I just say, you know what? Actually, somebody asked me, what's your parameter? I have zero parameter, I tell them.
I'm good.
Then they stop. They stop. They say, okay, you don't have parameter. No, I don't. Because I have already the relationships with lenders and we are buying from the foreclosure right in line. We know about these deals before even foreclosure, which is the best way to get them. And then the other party is lender who has put money into it. So we are dealing with those kind of things in the
Yeah.
my senior livings and in the hotels at this time. Multifamily, I'm waiting because it's going to be more rent coming and 550 billion is expiring loans. So there'll be more foreclosures will be coming later part of this year. That's what I think. Maybe right, maybe wrong, but I'm just shying away from multifamily unless it cash flows and it's really good. Like you're doing very good, very good.
We don't have the
You know?
crystal ball, but if you do
No,
get
we
a
don't.
great deal, do it, right? Close the deal if it makes sense, if the numbers
Yeah,
work. So number six, actually, I'm gonna read back the rest of your notes on this because you have a little hack on this
sure.
one. I like this. So for
Ah,
find the seed of advantage, you said every problem is an opportunity to gain an edge. Ask yourself, how can I use this to serve others and grow? And then your hack is brainstorm three creative ways the current situation can open new doors. So
wow.
crazy. I'm gonna sit down when
Sure.
Doreena's out at the park right now with Emerson, but when she gets back, I want to sit down with her with a whiteboard and say, what are three creative ways this
Excellent,
slowdown in the
excellent.
refinance actually creates new opportunities for us to serve, new
Yes.
doors.
I love
Wow.
that. I
I
love that.
love that
See,
hack.
that's you got to really take time, energy with the team. Hey, this is in our lap, but what should we do to get out? What are three different ways? Which one is number one, number two, number three? Why it's beneficial to do this? By analyzing, by deep diving, we'll come up with the solution. We'll come up with the best. Maybe you might even do two together. Who knows? Or maybe all three together at the same time. But you got to take time to think, and with all the energy, all the skills, all the intelligence of the teams, figure out how can we get out of that quicker, less expensive. Those are the two things. Time is money, money is time. See that? I mean, money is money, right? So you got to reduce the cost of everything and time to accomplish it because both of them have value to it. ROI, return on the investment, and ROT, return on time.
Return on time. Oh, I love it. ROE, return on energy, which I'm getting a ton of it right now.
Energy,
So number six,
ROE.
the abundance mindset over scarcity. Scarcity says, why me? And abundance says, why can't what can I learn? How do I get out of this? What can I
Totally.
learn? What can I get to a better place? That you wrote the book, Positivity Brings Profitability. Last night on the
Yes, sir.
mastermind, there it is. Last night on the mastermind, you kept bringing back the story because one of the investors said, "Oh man, I'm having a hard time, finding an investor who will come in on this deal." And then Ankur came
Yes.
on and he was like, "Oh, yeah, it takes time. Like you got to build relationships, you got to work people through. They got to understand
Hmm.
your deal." And you went
Yes.
back and you actually said, hey guys, it's actually about having the abundance mindset. There are so many investors. There's 30, $40 trillion of investor money sitting, wishing it could go somewhere better. How does a person shift
Totally.
from that scarcity mindset to the abundance mindset?
Very good question. Very, very good question. I mentioned it in the mastermind last
I
night.
know.
If you think there is no money around you, you're right.
There it is.
Because how we think mentally, we're going to behave that way. When we talk to investors, we'll have the scarcity mind, will be just, they will feel it. They'll feel it. You may not know what they are thinking through. They will read in between the lines and the presentation and enthusiasm if you're upbeat or not, if you're committed to what you're trying to do in raising money. You have to be totally passionate about what you're trying them to put money in. If you're not excited, why should they be excited? And PowerPoint is so important not to go in every direction and talk on the phone. You won't accomplish nothing. You always need to meet face to face on PowerPoints. Out of 582 investors, I had met with 36, belly to belly. 36.
In person, but you've met
In
with them all
person, in
virtually.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, virtually everybody, everybody.
Yeah.
Because it takes time to travel, everything. They cannot come to Danville, California. They're all over USA or even in Silicon Valley right here. It takes 2 hours to come to me from San Jose in the business hours. They're busy professionals. So you allocate 30 minutes of their time and be the best presenter. Take care of their, respect their time, and then design these 10 slides or 30 slides. You and I talked about it. There is a bigger presentation, there is a smaller presentation, and put the really good stuff, which is going to be what's on their mind, not what you want to tell. No, they don't care a damn what you want to tell. Think about what they have in mind, find out in their question answers, and then you hit those points so that they can make a wise decision, right? So
It's
it's
so
very
true.
important. Yeah, it's so
that
important,
that shift. And for I think this is a tactical tip you just gave. I said this to Gary Aker last night. He's running the fund for us. He works with Investor, and he's been doing all these conversations with people who are coming in. And he said, "Yeah,
Yeah,
you need to really get on more stages and meet with people in person." I said, "Bro, that's not scalable whatsoever. It's the virtual
yeah.
calls, it's the one-on-one roadmaps.
Best
Outside
way,
of that,
best way.
like I'm not traveling anywhere. You come to me, I come to you. I'll show up on your phone right there." You taught me that a while back. Number seven is smile. Seeing miracles in life
Oh,
every day, even when things seem tough, miracles are happening behind the scenes. For everybody who's just jumping in, this is Wealth Principle 34, reviewing it with Vinney Chopra, the person who came to this country with $7, got to purchase $1.3 billion worth of real estate. And this principle is never accept what can't be changed and create an advantage. So if you're just jumping in and saying, why are these guys talking about positivity? We're not. We're actually talking about reality. Just look at the data that's coming at you and then shift and say, how do I use this to create a much better opportunity
yeah.
for me? Because life's throwing lemons. Are we going to shave the lemon skins, make soap? Are we going to squeeze the lemons and make lemonade? Are we going to sell somebody else
Lemonade.
who doesn't have lemons? What's the play? Are we wholesaling the lemons or are we going to do something and squeeze a little more juice out of it? So, seeing miracles in everyday life, how does this affect you and entrepreneurs who are listening?
See, the thing is that as entrepreneur, as the CEO of our life, our business, our relationships, we are the CEO of many, many different things, right? A community person, then a church school, everything, right? Brother, sister, we have 12 roles, I think Stephen Covey talks about, right? The key thing is we are the one who are in the center. So we need to really position our mind, our thoughts create habits. Our thoughts make our moods go up and down. So it's very important that we conquer our mind, which is very hard, very, very hard. But we could make our muscles get better in smiling and bringing light and joy and everything. Somebody was interviewing me last week. They said, Vinny, when did you start smiling? I said, almost 49 years back. I came from India 1976. I was selling Bibles and encyclopedias. After 2 weeks, I was selling quite a few, by the way, books. People couldn't understand me. They said, come on in, knocking on doors in Georgia, Astle, Georgia. But guess what? They said, Vinny, you smile a lot. They changed my trophy, took out Kumar, put smile in there. That's 49 years back. 49 years, literally to the date. And I said, you know what? I got to live up to that. And that's how I started really getting into the positivity and books and Jim Rohn and, Wayne Dyer and Charlie Tremendous Jones and all those, right? So everybody can really work on the muscles of smiling. Now my muscles are just like I smile so much, I cannot frown. If I frown, it pains me. It pains me, literally. It pains me. I cannot do it.
This is a muscle. This is what we were talking about earlier. So for everybody who's listening to this and saying, "Wow, this is valuable stuff," drop a like in the comments, or give us a comment. Drop a like, give it a share. We do this every Thursday.
Yeah.
This is called Abundance Thursdays. Vinny jumps in. He donates his time with his inspiration. We review the 52 wealth
Oh, thank
principles
you.
with somebody who's been through multiple businesses. At one point, he had 30 businesses that he operated in. And he's also still very philanthropic in the sense that he wants to train and teach. I met Vinny originally. I said, I want to build 100 millionaires. And Vinny said, I think it's a great goal, but I think we could build 1 million millionaires if we can educate more people, if we can share how syndication works,
Yes.
if we can
Yeah.
share how multifamily,
Yes.
how commercial,
Totally.
how REL, how senior assisted livings work, the hotel space. There's a
Yes.
lot of money to be made. And I think a lot of people need
Mhm.
this information. So, Vinny, if you're getting value from Vinny Chopra, he does teach a training every Thursday at
Wednesday.
4
Oh,
p.m.
Wednesday.
PST. Wednesday. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. We got two. We
Wednesday
got two
and
now.
Thursday. Yeah, we got two now. So Wednesday, it's every Wednesday, and on Thursday at 4 every other week. So this week, today, I'll be doing it at 4 p.m. today, Thursday. But then yesterday was Wednesday. I've been doing it for 7 years. And you can come in free, totally free, 4 master sessions, learn so much you can learn. And then if you want to join, that's fine too. Yeah, yeah.
So you can go to vinnychopra.com, learn more about the Wednesday training. And if you want to go to see any of
Mhm.
his Eventbrite trainings, you go to either Eventbrite or you go to vinnychopra.com/events. And this Saturday, I'll be diving
Yes.
into this wealth principle, going very tactical with it. That
Let's.
is ibuildmillionaires.com. And like I said,
Yeah.
drop comments in the chat below. It's really valuable to us to get feedback. Me and Vinny both look at those afterwards. We're gonna do this again
Yes.
next Thursday, Abundance Thursdays, 9 a.m. PST, 12 p.m.
Hmm.
EST. Vinny, what do you have to say for
Yeah.
somebody who's looking to get started, or really looking to just level up, regardless of the challenges that may come to them in the future?
See, the thing is, all the setbacks, they do in life. So accept them. Please accept them. I always say, God gives you setbacks, challenges, problems because they know you can handle them. He would not give, no matter what religion you are in, or if you believe in God, the Almighty power or whatever, they give you something. Accept it. Accept it as soon as it comes and find solutions to get rid of the adversity. Adversity's main purpose, metaphorically, is to make you stressed out, make you angry, make you cry. So I feel like if you accept adversity and you laugh and smile and you say, hey, I don't care, you came in my lap, I'm going to be done with you. Adversity will walk away, fly away much faster because of the positivity and the smiling and how you're going to handle it. That's how I feel metaphorically. If you can just take that stress, just say, okay, it's here in my arm and I want to get out of it. So, the angry or all this thing is not going to help solutions at all. Finding the ways to get rid of it is the best way.
Man, that is all I needed to hear. So, for ladies and gents, choose your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. Go to vinnychopra.com
See you.
forward slash events. Go to outputstation.com. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
See you next Thursday. Thank
Next
you.
Thursday.
Thank you, brother.
Absolutely, man. That was
Oh
fun.
my God.